Are you bored of seeing the same wildcard template over and over? Yeah, probably. I am. So look, what we're going to do in today's video, we're going to take the template wildcard team, which looks very, very good, by the way, and we're just going to spice it up a little bit. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and you're looking forward to game week 6. So many of you are on wildcard, and if you are, I think you're probably going to have a fantastic game week and a fair few red arrows on the bounce. It feels like a good time to wildcard. I completely understand why you would be doing it. I myself have been tempted. I'm not on that. But again, I want to play a little bit differently. But there's nothing wrong with wildcarding. And if you are, I'm guessing, I don't know, every what I've seen online, you've got 13 of these players. Some will have 14, some might even have all 15. Like, there is a very, very strong wildcard template. It doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It doesn't mean it's going to bang, but I look at it and think this is a hugely strong team. This team looks amazing, and I'm sure it's going to do well. Would I be comfortable going in with the same team as everyone else? Probably not, just because that's the way I play. But if you want something different, then perhaps this video is for you, because we're not going to rip it up and start again. I'm not going to give you an alternative 15. That'd be crazy. I'm going to give you the wildcard team that I think I would go with, and that would probably be 5 changes from here. Easy for me to say, though, because I'm not actually on the chip and I haven't given it as much consideration as I would have done if I was on the chip. But I'm looking forward to showing you the possible changes I would make. Guys, thank you so much for watching, by the way. Do hit that like button. But if you've got a question, comment below. And if you fancy hitting that subscribe button, I would love your support. So thank you guys, as always, for the love. So look, let me just go through the template first and foremost, and then we'll go through the changes, right? You have to have triple Arsenal, just headlines. For me, you have to have triple Arsenal. Even though it's not the best entry point, long-term, it's great fixtures. You need DEFCON defenders, and we've got them here. I think a big question will be, do you want a Liverpool attacker or Mo Salah in your team? And for me, I wouldn't be comfortable going without a Liverpool attacker. I get it. If you go Mo Salah, you can't have the Brunos and perhaps the Semenyos. But maybe there's another Liverpool attacker you can have. Or maybe you can squeeze Salah in. In my actual FPL team, I'm not on wildcard, Haaland and Salah are in for me, and I'm very happy with that security, I guess. But it feels like there's a real comfort blanket and security of having this 15-man squad, knowing so many are wildcarding to it. So let me go through it first and foremost. Raya and Dubravka, I think it's just so obvious. I've seen a few with Petrovic, which I don't hate, but I'd be going Raya in a heartbeat. And Dubravka, the only 4 million playing keeper. Then you pack it out with DEFCON at the back. Senesi, Richards, Tarkowski and Anderson, all great for DEFCON. And then Gabriel's your expensive option, although Van Dijk could get some love, but I understand why Gabriel is there. He's surely due a goal as well, excuse me. Then when we look at midfield, if you're looking at a 5 million midfielder, Stack is recency bias, been brilliant. Bruno for Bruno reasons. Semenyo, hard not to pick him. Same with Reinders. And then Dio on pen, 6.5. Some of the names I'm mentioning I'm about to get rid of, and I'm going to give full explanations why. Gyökeres, Joao Pedro, Haaland. I mean, that is a front three that 100% of people I think are on. Although I'm about to rip that bit up as well. So I can't wait to go through all the changes with you guys. First of all, before we see the crossed out players, I want to just give reasons as to why I think those aren't crossed out are needed. So goalkeepers we've discussed. Senesi, I think, is the best pound for pound defender out there because he gives you everything. Gabriel is due a goal and I think edges Van Dijk. But Richards is an interesting one because I think Lequai is better. And I still think Munoz is better again, even though you don't get DEFCON. But is Munoz worth more than 500,000 from Lequai? Is Munoz worth more than 1 million from Richards? Probably not. And therefore, Richards, who will get DEFCON almost as much as Lequai, but not quite the same goal threat, 4.5 million is a steal. And then Anderson, again, is similar to Senesi. He's going to not hit DEFCON quite as much as Senesi, but he might get similar amount of clean sheets. He's a great option. So those guys are staying, right? We're also going to talk about a few others that are staying. Reinders, you've heard me been chatting about Reinders since, July when I did preseason content. Reinders is clearly going to be a lock. And then Semenyo, I'd absolutely have, like, talismanic. No European football is massive for Bournemouth and massive for Semenyo, I might add. Gyökeres, the Arsenal fixtures, you need an Arsenal attacker. They're going to be flat track bullies. And when we look at those Arsenal fixtures, take away game week 6, but from 7, West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley, Sunderland, Tottenham. Like, it's amazing. And Gyökeres, the only fit number 9. We think he's going to be on pens. He's only 9 million. I think he's going to be a flat track bully. I don't expect Gyökeres to score versus Newcastle, but I certainly do against West Ham. And then Erling Haaland, like so many are wildcarding to get Haaland in their team. Of course, Haaland stays, and at 14.2, he's going to be a captain a lot, and that's fine. And the entry point versus Burnley is ridiculous. If you're on wildcard, you can't be triple captaining. That is one drawback. So let's talk a bit about triple captain. When do you do it? I still think Haaland's got some great options. Like I like Haaland versus Leeds around. I think, when does he play Leeds? Let's have a look. Haaland plays Leeds in game week 13, I think it is. That'd probably be for me. I think he plays Leverkusen a few days before that. But I think he plays Leverkusen on the Tuesday and then Leeds at the weekend. So you've got like 4 days between. But we don't know how Haaland's going to be playing then. And we don't know how Leeds are going to be. At the moment, we know Burnley in the worst defence in the league, and Haaland's playing the best football, maybe even in Man City shirt. It's a recipe for success. Of course, there's other options. You could look at Liverpool. And I actually quite like Liverpool versus Forest in game week 12 off the back of the international break, because Ange will have a go, and that could play into Salah's hands. So there's going to be lots of options for you. Of course there are. So who's going and why? You can see who's going. I've crossed them out. I've left them visible, right? So let's go through their replacements. Gianni, Operation Save Money. Let's go. I think Tarkowski gives you too much spend at the back. I think you need more money in your attack here. So I'm going to go Tarkowski down to a 4 million Alderete. Now, there's lots of 4 million options, and this should be whoever suits your bench boost or suits your rotation patterns. Leeds, there's Rodon and Goodmanson. There's Mukalele and Alderete at Sunderland. Both are great. Esteve at Burnley, but you've got Dubravka. Maybe you don't want double Burnley there. But I'd go to a Sunderland defender at 4 million. Mukalele could be even better, but I'm worried he'll be forced out to right back. If Ballard comes back in at centre back, you could see Mukalele go to right back, and that would lower his DEFCON. But I'm loving the long throws, by the way. So 4 million, that's saved $1.5 million. I think if you have Tarkowski here, you're going to end up benching him loads. You do not want to be benching a 5.5 million defender. That's a huge amount of money on your bench in a defensive spot. But at times you'll go Richards, Anderson. They've got better fixtures. Senesi. Like, you're going to bench Tarkowski quite a bit. And I think therefore 5.5 is too much to spend. Have Alderete, easy bench option. So that's my back five, which I'll be very happy with on Wildcard. What about the midfielders? Well, look, we're going to get rid of Stack. I think we look at the last few weeks and go, yeah, we've seen big ceiling from Stack. But I question how many goals Leeds will score. And I question... Yes, he's had DEFCON twice, but is there someone better out there for goal threat than Stack? And I think there is. And I think he's actually plays in the same team as Ndai, which is why Ndai's going to go down to Dewsbury Hall. Now, Ndai's the best Everton midfielder. Ndai at 1, Grealish at 2, Dewsbury Hall at 3. But they all are priced differently. And I think money matters. And I think, is Ndai worth 1.5 more than Dewsbury Hall? Probably, because of pens. But Dewsbury Hall could be phenomenal value on free kicks, some set pieces, and corners. I like low socks baller, Dewsbury Hill, and this is Operation Save Money. So we've just saved 3 million, right? Xhaka comes in, or I think edges Stack. Xhaka will get more yellows, but he does take corners, same as Stack. Open play goal threat, perhaps a little bit lower, but I think he'll get more clean sheet points. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there. I just like Xhaka, and I like Sunderland more than Leeds in terms of goals. I think we'll get more goals from Sunderland than Leeds. I think we'll get more clean sheets from Sunderland too. I'm impressed by Sunderland so far. So Xhaka and Dewsbury Hill are in, but I don't feel really passionate about that. Like, it could very easily be Stack. So far we've saved 3 million. What about where that 3 million is going? That's the all-important bit, isn't it? But before we do that, guys, just check out the shirts in the background. I've got Inter Milan, PSG, Inter Miami, and then I've got Real Madrid. Some of the world's best football clubs, right? And they've all got elite academies. We know some of the players that have come through these guys. Now, why am I talking about that? Well, I'm talking about that because of these guys, FPRO. Now, you've seen the QR code on screen. Now, this is an awesome, awesome product I want to tell you about. Like, meet Jacob here with his coach. We've all known a Jacob. I think I was a Jacob when I was a kid. Football obsessed. But when I wasn't on the training ground, I still wanted to be playing. And FPRO have got a product that allows us to do that. So, the world's leading football training app. Right? So all you need is a smartphone. When you're in your room, you're going through your exercises and you get your mat out and you can do your drills, practice your ball control, your touch, produce technically gifted footballers when you're not there out on the training ground. Yeah, Like that was me as a kid without the mat and without the app. So the exercises are awesome. That changes all the time. There's competitions. There's it's a training program. It's not just one-off drills. This is way more than a mat. The app matters and the training matters. It changes every month. There's 7-step model. You get advice from your coach who is UEFA certified or a former footballer himself. It's awesome. There's a community online. I don't want my kids on TikTok and Instagram at this age. If I'm Jacob and Jacob's parent, I want you on this, talking to other football fans and trying to get in team of the week and trying to have an awesome looking FIFA style card. Like these are the things that make this product really cool. And I'm delighted to have an exclusive 20% off. Think of Christmas presents, think of birthday presents, boys and girls obsessed with football. Get on the FPRO website by scanning the QR code, link in the description, enter my name, GIANNI, for 20% off the entire website, including footballs, grip socks. I actually have these grip socks for when I play. They're awesome. But the mystery mat, I think it's an awesome gift idea. So look, we'll move back to the FPL team, but I'll keep this QR code on screen for those interested. Where are we spending 3 million? Well, we're not actually going to spend it on the Bruno replacement. You could go up to a Saka. And I think Saka's a really interesting option, but I've got Gyökeres in, so I've already got 3 Arsenal. I'm going to go to a guy that's got the best entry point of anyone this week. You probably guessed it, haven't you? I'm going to go to Man City. I'm going to go to Phil Foden. The way Foden's playing at the moment, he's now in Pep's 11. Of course, Cherky, Marmoush, there's going to be injured players coming back in the next couple of weeks. That maybe affects Foden. But I'm thinking short term, you pick him. And if it all fails, you hop on Bruno and you leave $1 million in the bank. That's what I've done. Bruno has good fixtures. It's Brentford and Sunderland. How many goals do Man United score against Brentford and Sunderland? It could be anywhere between, 1 and 6? 0 and 6? Wouldn't surprise you. How many goals does City score against Burnley and Brentford in the next 2? I feel pretty damn confident on 4+. I think probably 6. And with that in mind, Phil Foden, who's the next best thing to Erling Haaland, I'd go triple City attack, because why not? Because why not versus Burnley? In Brentford, he's got history there. I famously sold him against Brentford for his big haul last season. But Phil Foden could be loads of fun on Wildcard. You can have a short-term punt. I don't want to be booking in transfers, and you're not. Maybe you keep him, but you've got an out to get to Bruno with the extra $1 million in the bank. I think that's the most important thing from this Wildcard team. Everyone has Bruno, and he's brilliant. I think Foden outscores Bruno in the next fortnight. I think he definitely outscores him in game week 6. Leave money in the bank, leave yourself a transfer, have a punt against the grain. Someone like Phil Foden is so lowly owned and could be so much fun. I genuinely think he's worth consideration, guys. By the way, if you feel like you've got any advice from this video and you've enjoyed it, please do hit that subscribe button. That would mean a lot. Thank you as always for the love, and I'll answer all your questions in the comments. So look, I've got 4 million in the bank, but I want to leave $1 million there. So we're going to take Joao Pedro up. Now, Joao Pedro has been brilliant in a Chelsea shirt. I feel like he's on a downward trajectory, and I feel like Chelsea are on a downward trajectory. I think Cole Palmer out this team and Liam Delap out this team is actually bad for Joao Pedro. I think it means they've got less firepower for him to bounce off. It's less opportunity for him to play number 10, which I think is his best role. I want to see him behind Liam Delap. I want to see him playing next to Palmer when Palmer's on the right, inverting, and Joao Pedro's next to him. The chemistry they all have is brilliant. I feel like Joao Pedro and Chelsea at the moment lack firepower and quality up front, and I'm not sure they're going to be scoring that many goals. I like Joao Pedro against his old club, don't get me wrong. But moving forward, when I look at the Chelsea fixtures, Liverpool up next, and then Forest, trip to Forest, at 2 tough fixtures. I think you could risk going without Joao Pedro. At the start of the season, he felt like a must-have, and he was. I'm not sure he is now. And I wonder if you can take a gamble on someone that's really lowly owned, someone that covers you from the best attack in the league. We don't have Mo Salah. What's the next best thing? Get a Liverpool attacker, and you can do that. You can absolutely do that with this draft. 3 million in the bank. Joao Pedro goes up to, you guessed it, with good fixtures. We know he's starting because Ekitike suspended. Alexander Isak, welcome to this wildcard team. Now, this isn't my team. I'm not on wildcard. If I was, I think I'd go something very close to this. Guys, thank you very much for all the love. I'll see you very soon for another video.